Hello, this is Ty Crandall with Elite Credit, and I'm going to try to do a really quick video. This actually entails you get a lot more details by attending our webinar, which you can actually visit any of our webinars by going to our main site, perfectcreditfast.com, or visiting our Facebook page. But I'm going to do a quick video here on why paying off collections will severely damage your credit score. A lot of customers come to us believing that paying off a collection will help their scores, when in reality they will severely damage their scores. So let's do a quick video and let's talk about what happens when you actually pay off a collection, because many consumers believe that paying off a collection is the best way to improve credit, but in reality paying off collections will almost always hurt the credit score, and that's what we're going to focus on today. I mean, finding out exactly what happens, and at the end of this quick video you're going to know exactly what happens when these accounts are paid off. So the first reason you never want to pay off a collection is because of something called the statute of limitations. Every account you owe money on has a statute of limitations, and this SOL determines how long a creditor can report on that debt. Now, that SOL varies based on the state you live in or the state you acquire the debt in. Each state has a different time frame that collectors can collect by law on that debt. Your SOL will also vary based on the account type. Mortgages, judgments, tax liens are a few accounts which have longer times where the debt can actually be collected on. Credit cards and other installment loans usually have shorter times that collectors can actually collect. Many states have a statute of limitations of 4 years on credit card and contract debt. This means that collectors can only collect for 4 years beyond the date of last activity on that account. Mortgages in many states have a SOL of 7 years, where the bank can pursue you to collect on that debt for a total of 7 years. Now, when a payment is made on a collection account, the date of last activity is updated to the date the payment was actually made. For example, let's say you had a Chase credit card that went into collections 3 years ago. If the SOL was 4 years, that would mean you only can be pursued for 1 more year on that account. But when you make a payment, you update the date of last activity on that account, extending the SOL, meaning the date of last activity then becomes the date that you paid off that collection. So if you make a partial or full payment toward that collection company today, you reset the SOL to today when you made that payment. They would have only been able to pursue you for 1 more year based on this example if you didn't make a payment. But now that a payment was just made, you just reset the statute of limitations, and now the collector has 4 more years to collect starting from the date you made the payment. When you pay off a collection, you extend the statute of limitations on how long that collector can collect. This is one of the great reasons you do not want to pay off a collection. The second reason, paying off a collection does not change the account status. So if you have an account in good standing, it reports as a 1 status. Okay, but when you start to pay it late, it becomes more than a 1 status. So for example, a 1 status is an M1, stands for mortgage 1. R1 stands for revolving 1. This means these accounts were paid as agreed. But when late payments occur, that 1 status changes depending on how late it is. So the first late payment changes the status to 2 on 2, and so on, until it becomes a collection and listed as a 9 status on the credit report. All collections report as a 9 status and severely damage your credit scores. Your credit scores are a mathematical model designed to depict your risk of going 90 days late on an account in the future. When you have collections in 9 status accounts, your risk is still very high, and your credit scores are lower as a result. When you pay off a collection, the account still remains a 9 status. It's still looked at as a defaulted account, and you're still just as high of a risk for defaulting in the future because it's a collection and you let it go into collections. The truth is, your scores will not go up when a collection is paid because the collection 9 status still remains, and it's still looked at as a defaulted account. Paying off a collection will not raise your scores for this reason. Third reason that paying off a collection will lower your score is paying off a collection will update your date reported. Every account on your credit report has a particular time it can be reported for. The time these accounts can report varies based on the account types. Most negative accounts remain on your report for about 7 years. Tax liens, bankruptcies, and other government accounts can remain on the credit for up to 10 years. Other IRS type debts can remain on the report indefinitely. The time starts from the date you went late on the account, not your date of last payment like the statute of limitations. Many creditors will update this date when a collection is paid even though they are not supposed to by law. So what happens is the collection company updates the date of last payment even though they're not supposed to by law. But if you're in a repayment plan for a debt and miss a payment, then they can legally update this date on your reports, meaning this date's supposed to reflect the date you last went late. Here's the secret. It's not even reported on the credit report. You can't even find this. There are some lender reports you can access this information. The rest of them, you can't even access this information. So if a creditor changes this date, you'll never even know about it. And if you make a partial payment towards a collection company and you don't finish that payment plan, then they absolutely legally can update this date from that point on. For example, if you have a Capital One credit card which you started going late on 4 years ago, this account is due to drop off in 7 years, so it's 4 years old already and will drop off in 3 more years. But in many cases, when you make a payment on this debt, the collector updates this date to the date you make the payment. That means that account will now report on your credit report much longer than it should. It was due to drop off in 3 years based on the prior example, but now that the clock is reset, it will now remain for another 7 years because you just extended that date from today's date. Paying off collections in many cases updates your account so collectors can keep the negative on your credit report much longer than it should be. When you pay off a collection, many items on your report are then updated. And you now know most of them are not good and will severely hurt your credit scores. The only good thing that happens is the balance is reported as 0 if it's paid off. Your scores benefit a little based on now having a 0 balance instead of an outstanding balance, but having a 0 balance does not outweigh having the date of last activity updated. So your credit scores mostly will go down as the bureaus see it as a recent collection and still a 9 status collection. This means your risk is still high and your scores still stay low. There's only one way to fix credit. The only way to improve credit is to delete the negative item. When the item is deleted, all the history is wiped out and the 9 status collection is gone for good. If you do want to pay off a collection, make sure you obtain a pay to delete letter to have the item removed completely. Otherwise, dispute and delete your negative items. Do not pay them off. If you pay them off, you now know that that will lower your score, and you know why it will lower your score, but having it deleted will absolutely increase your credit scores. Don't pay off collections or you will hurt your scores due to these 3 reasons on how that paid off collections affects your actual credit scores. So I hope you enjoyed this quick video. If you have any questions, make sure you give us a call or send us an email. We're available toll free at 877-346-1010, 877-346-1010, or perfectcreditfast.com. Also, feel free to register for our webinar on this topic where we give a lot more details about what will actually happen when you pay off a collection. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook for all of our updates and special incentives. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.